Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of 5 Minute Gaming News, the show that may or may not be 5 minutes. Today in the news, Netflix is opening a game studio now, I guess. Now, if you've watched this show before, you know that I think Netflix's gaming arm is insane, convoluted. I'm not sure what the best way to describe it is. It just doesn't make sense to me. The games aren't on actual Netflix, but they're mobile games, but Netflix is involved, and in order to get the mobile games, you have to go through this whole process because it's subscription-based to your Netflix account, and then it's just not on Netflix. And a lot of the games are single-player when big family games that you could play on actual Netflix seem to make a whole lot more sense. Look, it doesn't make sense to me. But then I saw that Her Story creator, Sam Barlow's newest game, Immortality, would be coming to Netflix, and I was like, okay, this is how you do it. You bring an FMV, you make it playable on your TV. Great. More of this. But then I realized, nope, it's part of that insane Netflix iOS Android thing, where if you want to go play, you have to use your Netflix account to go to iOS or Android and then download the games and play them there separately. And again, it's so confusing that in the Polygon article about it, they literally have at the end a link of how to download and play Netflix games. It's that convoluted. Well, now it looks like Netflix is planning to do even more video games with in-house content created by them and their own game development studio. The new studio, the fourth game studio owned by Netflix, will be based in Helsinki, Finland, and will bolster Netflix's efforts to bring engaging original games to their hundreds of millions of subscribers around the world, Vice President of Netflix's game studio said. But again, and I cannot stress this enough, Netflix has 221 million users, but only 1% of them are playing the games. And that has to do with a lot of things like not being able to find them not being directly on the main platform, it being entirely obtuse on how you get them. It seems insane to me. They're going all in on gaming right now, and it is kind of an afterthought. I don't know what they're doing, man. I would love to see in the comments what you think, because honestly, none of it makes sense to me. I can't figure it out. In other news, October's almost here, so of course, E3 rises from the dead. It looks like next year, E3 will officially return under the direction of ReedPop, the organizer of cons like PAX and EGX, and run from June 13th to the 16th. According to Video Games Chronicle, under the revamped format, the first 2 days of E3 2023, the 13th and 14th, will be reserved exclusively for business. The third day, June 15th, will welcome both business and consumers, and then the final day, the 16th, will be dedicated directly to consumers. I guess this is their plan, and it seems like a pretty solid one to blunt the overcrowding that we saw the last couple years at E3. It got bad. It was crazy. One half of the LA Convention Center will be entirely dedicated to business, with quieter, more comfortable booths and areas to network. ReedPop also hopes to reopen Kendia Hall, a basement area not used for some years for business purposes. The other half of LACC will be the spectacular E3 you're used to, and for the first 2 days will also be for business attendees only. In addition, E3 2023 will feature a new dedicated meeting space where attendees can connect using the E3 app and hold meetings. So there's 2 big takeaways here. One, they're kind of going for a Gamescom vibe. I've been there a few times, and yeah, there's like a business area and then an open to consumers area, and the business area is way more quiet and a little more relaxed. It's still crazy, but like significantly less crazy. So that I like that. I like that a lot. And then 2, ReedPop has a great relationship with indie games. I know they'll get a ton of indie devs to show up, and there'll be a lot of indie games at E3, which I think is very, very cool. I'm curious what's going to happen with the big players, the titans of the industry. Will they come back? Do they care about E3 anymore? They can do their own thing now. Is it a different story that ReedPop's there? I don't know. I have no clue. I guess we'll find out together, especially now where Jeff Keighley's doing his own thing. And I know that Jeff had a lot to do with E3 in the past. I was on a few things with him at E3, and he was hosting a bunch of stuff. So I don't know. I guess we will see together when June 2023 rolls around. Speaking of things rolling around the bend this week. Boy, I hope that was acceptable. Some new releases. Tomorrow, coming to PC, is The Fridge is Red. an anthology of 6 first-person horror stories, each one in some way connected to a mysterious red fridge. From a staring contest to the infinite corridors of a creepy backroom-like maze, this one is all about liminal spaces, surreal encounters, and uncanny strangers portrayed in a PSX era-like format. Definitely excited to check this one out. Speaking of excited to check out a game, Wednesday, The Excavation of Hobbs Barrow comes to Steam as well. A point-and-click inspired horror narrative-driven adventure is just the different kind of October scare I love. Thomasina Bateman is writing a book on the Barrows of England. But then a strange letter summons her to a remote countryside locale, and strange dreams begin. Oh, it sounds exactly like what I love. The look has a great old LucasArts style feel to it, and I'm totally here for that kind of stuff. And finally, on Thursday, something not spooky at all, Valkyrie Elysium launches on PS4 and PS5. The latest game in the Valkyrie series, this action RPG brings the combo systems the game is known for and cranks it up a notch. And you'll need it, cause Ragnarok approaches. Fight off hordes of monsters, bosses, and maybe a fellow Valkyrie or two with your customized and upgraded weapons, skills, and divine arts. Look, it's an RPG. You know what you're getting into. Speaking of getting into, you should get into patreon.com/Jesse Cox, where you can hang out with Matthew Margolla, Noah Lichtenstein, and Plium, however you say that, I hope I said it right. That's it for me. Thanks, everybody. I'll see y'all tomorrow for another episode of 5 Minute Gaming News.